Well, welcome to today's webinar, the Information Technology Undergraduate Program. My name is Bill Riles. I'm the Associate Director. I'm gonna wait a second. I see that Ronnie is trying to join in. Um, but I'm the Associate Director and also one of your professors in the IT program. And I'm excited to serve as host for today's event. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. I know we're in for a great session. Now, this webinar is designed to be interactive. So you can just sit back and listen, and I'm going to talk to you for this whole time, or you can join us. We'd love for you to unmute yourself, or you're in a position where you can show your camera. We'd love to see your smiling faces, but if not, that's okay too. So we would love to interact with you as much as possible. You can submit questions just by unmuting yourself and just jumping in and ask a question, or by submitting through the chat function. We have a Q&A function. You can see Ann just posted something out there. If you want to feel more comfortable by using the chat function, then feel free to use that as well. But most importantly, we want this to be interactive. As I'm going through this material, feel free to jump in, raise your hand, interrupt me and ask a question, or you can hold your questions towards the end of the webinar and we'll try to address those as well. But we want this to be as valuable of your time as possible. So let me talk to you about Sopa. You may be familiar with Tulane and some of the history, but one of the things that I think is important to share is our school is actually goes back a very long time. This school, Sopa, the School of Professional Advancement, is a school at Tulane that focuses on working adults and the applied learning model. We are actually very highly diverse. We have students that range from 17 to 77. Like I said earlier, it goes far back in history. The university was founded in 1834, one of the oldest universities in the country. The predecessor to SOPA was formed in 1886. It started as an outreach division with the mission to offer classes to teachers. Ever since then, there's been various iterations of the school. It was named University College in 1942. And after Hurricane Katrina, it was named the School of Continuing Studies. And most recently, in 2017, it was named SOPA, the School of Professional Advancement. And Tulane is actually quite unique as far as private universities go, having this long-term commitment towards applied learning and working adults that's relevant to the workplace. So let's talk about why SOPA. I mean, we know what SOPA is. Well, in higher education today, you have access to more educational options than ever before. Why choose SOPA? One is for depth in online. We have been doing online well before the pandemic. We did online before online was cool. Our online courses are professionally built. Now, not all of our courses are online. A lot are on ground in the traditional classroom. Some are online, but our online classes and also our on ground classes were professionally built by instructional designers, graphic designers, faculty. They're built purposely for industry, the technology industry. We they're built to learn. You can interact as much as possible. We'll talk about student support in just a little bit. You know, you're not just thrown into a classroom and wish good luck, go out there and get your classes and turn in your homework. You become part of a family, part of this Tulane SOPA family. And there is a plethora of support services that you're going to be involved with, from academic advising, career counseling, access to internships and job opportunities, writing help. If you haven't been in school for a while, you want to get back in the tune of academic style writing, we've got a whole writing center that we can help you out with. Access to a world-renowned library. I can just go on and on and on. And finally, you know, everybody thinks of Tulane, one of the first thing that comes to mind is expensive. This is an expensive school. But because you're coming in through SOPA, it is actually surprisingly affordable. And there's also other flexible scholarship opportunities you can have as well. And with our undergraduate program, we allow you to work at your own pace. You can take as many classes as you like. You can take one class a semester. You can take multiple classes a semester to finish your degree quicker and easier. And many of our classes are also offered online, which means you can take it from any geographic location. So I talked a lot about online. Let's dive into that a little bit. So online learning at SOPA. So everything will be provided to you. You'll get your books, but you'll be accessed through our learning management system we call Canvas, and you have access to everything that you need. You'll have a calendar to show all your assignments in one place. And like I said, our faculty, these are the same faculty you'll have if you were attending a building, a in-person class at Tulane University. So even though this is an online class, it's not like you're logging into something, you're doing everything by yourself. A certified Tulane faculty. In many of our online classes, you'll meet weekly like you would. The only difference is you're not sitting in the classroom. You're not having to drive across, you know, all the traffic to get into class. You just log in at your workplace or at your home and take the class during that time. That's an asynchronous or remote classroom online. And some of our other online classes is not so much. It's more asynchronously. So you work on your work with your peers through discussion boards. You do your assignments at your own time. But we still have at least once a month a synchronous session where you'll talk to your instructor face to face. So you're not just going through a correspondence course. And I wasn't until I'm also a first time student, and I started taking classes in my 30s. I was a working adult, full time work, full time family, and I got exposed to this applied learning environment and how valuable online learning can be. It wasn't until I was in my late 30s who I realized that I truly loved taking these classes, both online and on ground as well. So there's also a scale. I'm going to tell you how much we've invested in online learning. Here's just some quick numbers here. Over almost 1,400 students completed 12,000 hours of online coursework last year. Across Tulane Sopa, we've got 8 master's degrees, 11 graduate certificates, 4 post-bac, and over 300 courses professionally developed just to be offered online for you. And there's over 200 faculty that have been expertly trained on how to deliver, how to teach classes in an online format. So let's talk about this program that we have for you, information technology. In academia, terminology can be kind of odd. We call things different words. So this is the IT department, the information technology department. Inside that, you'll be working towards your Bachelor of Science degree in the IT program. And from there, there's different options here. We've got, I mentioned, a world-renowned faculty that regardless of if you're taking classes online or on ground, you can have access to faculty that are not only accredited, they have advanced degrees, but they've also done the adequate work in the workplace. These are CIOs, system managers, directors, chief information security officers in major corporations and major government offices all over the world who have been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt, and they're going to network with you as well. Online courses can be completed in any geographic area or where you are. Every semester we offer a mix of online classes and on-ground classes as well. And we have different concentrations. I'm going to show you that coming up next here. And let's go ahead and go to that next slide if you don't mind. So let's talk about, you'll be working towards your Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, and you get to choose a pathway because IT has matured. In the past, everything was just computers, programming basically. Then we started getting into networking. Now there's cloud and all kind of stuff. So you can be in the IT field and specialize in certain things. So Bachelor of Science degree at Tulane University, you will specialize, you will choose a concentration. And here's our concentrations: integrated application development, product and program support, enterprise systems and cloud, and cybersecurity. Let me take just a few minutes and I'll walk through each one of these. Integrated application development. This is your classic computer science, programming, coding. You can learn how to write applications, web applications, Java, C++, things like that. Really get down and write code. You become the job term out there is application developer. Product and program support. Now this is the business side of IT. This is for students who might not be the most technical, but want to be involved in the IT industry. Product and program support. These are project managers, program managers, DevOps, product owners. Your interface with the business. So in any type of, whether it's a government or some type of private industry, you have the actual product, you have the actual thing that the business does, and you got the IT on the back end doing all the nerd stuff. What the product and program support group does is the liaison between the two. You speak a little bit of business speak. You also speak the IT speak. You put it together. You write system requirements, specifications, quality testing, things like that. It's a great way to be in the IT industry without being all nerdy and geeky with all the system specs. The next one is enterprise system and cloud. This is an emerging technology with cloud computing and anything as a service, infrastructure as a service. Throughout this type concentration, you're going to learn about how to do system administration, not so much coding as you would in the application development, but how to Windows systems, Linux systems, cloud. Throughout this process, you'll be part of the AWS Academy. One of the top IT certifications in the world today is an Amazon Web Cloud practitioner. So you'll be actually logged into Amazon services, learning how to spin up Amazon VMs, and you'll be working on. You can actually get a certificate, an Amazon certification, as you go through this process and be a cloud engineer. And then the last one is cybersecurity. This concentration is really focused on system security, cybersecurity, everything you want to be. If your goal is to be some type of a cybersecurity engineer, you'll get your hands dirty, dive in deep on how to crack passwords and how to make systems overall secure. Now, all the other concentrations, the application development, product program, enterprise systems, and cloud, there's going to be elements of cybersecurity, except the cybersecurity concentration really just focuses in on it. All your advanced classes are on advanced malware analytics and all that fun stuff with cybersecurity. So what is the Twolane difference? What Twolane Sopa difference? What makes us a little bit different? I talked to you about our program, and earlier I mentioned that you have access to education now more than ever. There's schools everywhere. Number one, I mentioned earlier, it's affordable. Believe it or not, it's a lot more affordable than what you think. And it's a top 50 university. This is still Tulane University, one of the best universities in the nation you can have access to. Most of the faculty, I'm talking about that in a second, I mentioned earlier, are current technology executives working in the workplace, and that networking opportunity is invaluable. If you happen to be a female, we have a Women in Technology membership program. We see that it is difficult a lot of times for women to rise up in the workplace in the technology field. So we have expert women who are successful, that are leaders in their organizations, VPs, CIOs, and things like that in their organization, to mentor anyone in exploring the women in technology options. We have a national top level executive board. So let's talk about that for a second. When we built this program several years ago, we totally rebuilt it. We went out, we created this industry advisory board. This is executives from all over the nation, from top level. One example is the former CIO of the Department of Defense. The whole nation's Department of Defense is on our industry advisory board. We got GM, Google, Microsoft. We got high-level vice presidents from all over the world to be on our industry advisory board. And this industry advisory board guides us and tells us what type of classes should we be offering, what type of skills. We went out and asked this industry advisory board, you're hiring these graduates. You have students who are get out of school from Tulane University or maybe from any university. What type of skills do they need for you to hire them? What are you looking for when you want to hire someone that has a new undergraduate degree? And they told us, and we built our program around that. So not only are you learning sound academic theory and conceptual learning and all the fun stuff with a college degree, but you also are learning actual applicable skills that can be applied in the workplace because of our industry advisory board. There's over 250 labs. Our program, while it's academic, is very technical as well. You will get your hands on looking at servers, looking at code, looking at databases, look all this stuff, so that when you graduate, you can go right to the workplace and start working. And you can probably earn some technical certifications, CompTIA, AWS, all kind of crazy different cybersecurity certifications and system administration certifications that not only when you graduate, you have your degree, and you have some technical industry certifications as well. That way, when someone hires you, you can walk in from day one and go to work, and that's just amazing. I talked earlier about the flipped classroom model. The way we build our online classes, the same way we do the on-ground classes. Everything is with the end in mind. You won't see a lot of final exams where there's a 200 question test. And you got to memorize all these terms. Most of all our classes are very applicable. It's some type of a project. You're working on this project throughout the course, and the final is putting this project together. And it just so happens that the project that you're working on is also a project you will see in the real world in the technology industry as well. I talked a lot about our faculty. So this is just an example. I really want you guys to go out. The website is the bottom of the slide, Sopa, Tulane.edu, about Sopa advisors, faculty, staff. And this is what you see on the screen is just a handful. One thing I want to point out, our faculty is very diverse. We've got people from all walks of life, but the only thing that's the same about all our faculty, they are all successful IT executives. You know, we've got a chief security officers, we got Agile, we got CTOs, and now, you know, Michelle runs a national cybersecurity blog. You know, we do our faculty. I'm so proud of the faculty we have in our program. You're going to love them as well. Once you become a student, they will be your biggest assets to making you succeed. So let's talk about the career options. What can you do? Why do you want an undergraduate degree anyway? You know, I get this question all the time. Should I go for a certification like a CompTIA A plus or Network Plus, or maybe a Microsoft certified engineer, or get a college degree? My answer is both. You know, if you only cared about the technical skills that are relevant in this exact thing, this exact system, then that's fine. Go get a cert and go to work. But if you ever want to be a leader, if you ever want to be a manager, if you ever wanted to grow beyond that, you also need the skills that go along with a college degree. And also, many job applicants, the recruiters, the first screen is if you have a college degree or not. So what is a degree, this undergraduate degree from Tulane Sopa IT, what does it lead you to? This list you have on your screen is just a small example. Technology job descriptions are always changing. There's new ones, there's new terms out there every day. But what you're going for is cybersecurity engineers, application developers, system administrators. These are all type of jobs that we've seen our graduates achieve as they get their undergraduate degree from Tulane IT. You know, I talked about the product and program. Many of our graduates go out and become project managers and scrum masters. A lot of our cloud and infrastructure students will go out and become cloud engineers or cloud architects. DevOps is a growing thing we see a lot. So there are many different career options, especially when you consider all the different concentration options that we have as well. All right, I talked about student success. That's all the academic stuff. That's stuff you're going to see in your classes and all that, but there's more to it than that. You are supported by a full staff here to help you beyond the classroom. There's academic advisors. Now I talked about our faculty, but you're gonna have access to these faculty that are not just here to give you a grade. There's other faculty as well in the classroom, outside the classroom, with industry experience that will guide you and mentor you as you go on your way to become a successful IT in your career, to give you career advice. You will network with peers. I mean, I have learned so much from my students, and I've talked to students all the time that says they will advance their career because of someone they met in class. Someone knows someone else. You will develop this network of professionals from faculty, your advisors, and your peers as well. Now, what about credit for prior learning? So many, because we do focus on adult learning, many of you may come with a lot of experience already, but you just don't have that bachelor's degree. So we can give you credit for some of that prior learning, whether it's, you know, there's options for transfer if you went to another college, but this is separate from that. This is something you learn outside the classroom. Work experience, community service, military training is a very common one. And you can actually get up to 24 credits from this credit for prior learning. How it works, you sign up for a portfolio assessment. If you have previous IT certifications that you've already done in the past, you would put them as an artifact into your portfolio, or any other type of training you've had throughout your professional experience. It just wasn't in the past counted for college credit. We can take that do an analysis, and potentially give you credit up to 24 credits towards your undergraduate degree. All right. So what if you're saying, hey, I'm ready to get started. I want to go, well, you just need to apply. You need to submit your application and let sopa.tulane.edu/apply. That's what you want to you want to go to, complete the application. Have one of the things we always look at that some applicants forget to do is their government ID. Have your driver's license or some other government ID ready. That's required. And you also have to submit any transcripts if you're going to be applying for transfer credit. So if you went to another college, a community college, or even another four-year college, but you want to get some of those transfer credits to bring in, you need to be sure you order those transcripts from your university. It's got to be sent electronically or in a sealed envelope to the institution. Now, it's a $40 fee to apply, but because you attended this webinar today and you sit through 30 minutes of me yabbering on about our program, that can be waived. The $40 application fee, because of you attending today, you can be waived. It doesn't cost you anything to apply. Let's talk about when and where. What's the deadlines? If you want to get started in the summer, the deadline is May 1st. In the fall is August 1st, and January 1 for spring. Now, there's also a $200 scholarship for early enrollment. So for the summer, if you can get your application in, just get your application started by April 25th, you automatically get $200 waived off of your tuition. Same thing for the fall. The early enrollment is June 1st. And for the spring, the early enrollment scholarship is December. So let's talk about how much does all this cost? Well, like I said, compared to other top 50 universities, elite private universities, Tulane is very affordable. The summer tuition is $524 per credit, and for the fall is $576 per credit. And all of our classes are 3 credit hours. So you take that number times about 3, and that's the cost per class. There is financial aid options. We have a whole financial aid office that you can contact that will guide you through the whole process of applying for financial aid and getting financial aid. So be sure that you get any type of grants or loans you can to help you with your financial obligations to the university. With that, I'm going to stop for a second and see if there's any questions. And thank you guys for joining. So does anyone have any questions about any of the things I talked about? Well, I must have covered everything pretty intensely. So if you don't have any questions, you can always reach out to me later. I'm going to put in the chat my contact information. That's my email, briles@tulane.edu, and I would love to talk to you about your journey before you become a student, and especially after. I'm a professor, so I'll probably see you in class in some of my classes, but if I'm not, reach out to me anyway. Myself, you'll see Ralph Russo's name on the screen here. He's the program director. Myself and Ralph, we run the program, and we love talking to students about what's going on, what your career goals are, and how we can help you. If you think of any questions in the future, please reach out, and I can't wait to see your application and see you in class. All right. Thank you, everyone.